Yahweh is the iron counselor of the people. So when I'm speaking in Hebrew, I want to make it clear to you that I tried the tribulation was beyond matching. Now your path is one teacher.
Otherwise, you won't make it into the kingdom of heaven. What we out here to do is true love, people. This ain't hate. This have nothing to do with hate. We don't have time to hate people. But we do have time to show what true love is, which is the commandments. And that's what we're here to teach you. Read that.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not.
The Bible says, cry out loud and spare not. Cry out loud and spare not. So that means you speak aggressive, you talk loud, and you don't spare people feelings. Why? Read on.
Lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
The Bible says, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. People are mad that we out here lifting up our voice like a trumpet, but this is all in the name of love. Because we out here to help save you. Out here to save ourselves, because if we don't do this, the blood is on our hands. But after trying to save ourselves, we're also trying to save anyone else who wants to make it into the kingdom of heaven. Read on.
And show my people their transgressions.
And show my people their transgressions. And that's what we out here to do. To show our people their transgressions and their sins. So it's time for our people to wake up, man. And the time is short. Race wars are happening right now. Last week on the 4th of July, they caught a group of white men in the act of trying to lynch a brother.
Box Booker was at Lake Monroe near Bloomington, Indiana, in the Indiana State Forest with friends on July 4th when 5 white men pinned him to a tree, beat him, threatened to lynch him. Booker is a member of the Monroe County Human Rights Commission in Bloomington. He says he was able to get out of the mob's hands after passersby intervened to get the attackers off him. Last week, Box held a news conference with his attorney, local elected officials, and 2 of the white witnesses who intervened on his behalf during the attempted lynching. This is a reporter questioning one of those witnesses, Stephen Cox.
Cox, had said multiple times yesterday that when they were holding him down, calling for a noose, threatening to harm him, calling for a noose, threatening to harm him, he truly thought that they were trying to kill him. As someone who was an outsider, kind of able to see all the moving parts of this, did you also think that it was a possibility that Vox might not make it?
Yes. When they called him, you can leave the boy here. You guys can go, but you can leave the boy here. So the white people could go, but they wanted us to leave him there.
But you think that racism no longer exists. But here it is. If those people didn't have a camera and were in a court to act, guess what? He would have been ruled as a suicide. So the time is close. The time is short. Give me Matthew 24 and verse 8. Because the events that's taking place, matter of fact, give me verse 7 to go to the events that's taking place. The events that's taking place, this is a post-apocalyptic era right now. In 2020, the events that's unfolding before your very eyes is proof that this world would never be the same again. Read that. Verse 7 first.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 7. For nations shall rise against nations.
So this is what's happening right now. If you believe in Jesus Christ, that means you should be looking at what's happening in the news and around the world and thinking to yourself, nation is rising against nation right now. And the Bible says one race will fight against another race. Read on.
And kingdom against kingdom.
And you have kingdoms right now. Iran has put a warrant out for the arrest of your president, Donald Trump. And if you know your history, Iran is the ancient Persians, which the Bible prophesied will link up with the nation of Russia to bring nuclear fire down on this nation. But y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me.
Bring it out, huh?
Read on.
Bring it out.
And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes.
So the Bible tell you there shall be famines and pestilence. You're going through a partial famine right now. Here it is. The majority of the major meat markets are shutting down because of the coronavirus.
Empty shelves might become the new normal for a while. Some stores have run out of meat and there's no sign of when they'll get new deliveries. More than a dozen meat processing factories have been forced to close because of COVID-19. The system requires workers standing close together in a pattern repeated across the country. One gets sick, many others inevitably follow.
In meat processing, the work by its very nature is very crowded. People have to stand very closely together as they're working on the line to process pieces of meat that are going by very, very quickly.
The closure of factories from Missouri to Colorado, from Virginia to South Dakota, creates a real problem in the supply chain. Farmers now have...
So now there's not enough meat that's hitting your supermarkets. That is what you call famine. Famine is coming real soon. Pestilence. What is pestilence? Pestilence is disease. The coronavirus is a disease. It might be a man-made one, but still a disease. Read on.
In diverse places.
And earthquakes in diverse places. Just the day before yesterday, there was an earthquake in Colombia. How many of you might be Colombian out here or have family members that's Colombian? Well, guess what? There was a major earthquake only a few days ago. But we're so caught up in what's happening here in America, having fun, having the time of our lives. You don't see these earthquakes happening in diverse places. There's earthquakes happening in places that earthquakes never happened before. Read on.
All these are the beginning of sorrow.
But now this is the main point. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Right now, in 2020, all right, almost exactly 400 years from 1619, the beginning of sorrows is happening before our very eyes. So some of you can't wait for society to get back to normal. Guess what? These masks that they got you wearing in public, that is the new normal. The amount of people that they can have in a supermarket or a retail company, that is the new normal. Welcome to the beginning of the new world order. Bring it out. Bring it out. Read on.
Yeah, well, ISIS I am, he got the street fire. FBI, they be having my phone tapped. Look outside, CIA, they got my home tapped. I keep it so real, y'all got to feel me. After conspiracy theory, man, they got to kill me. Yeah, well, ISIS I am, counselor of the people. So when I'm speaking in Hebrew, I want to make it clear.